The door to Mr. Harrington's corner office slammed shut behind me, sealing me in with the man who held my future in his iron grip. "Alex, I need you to do something for me," he said, his voice low and commanding, sliding a thick envelope across the desk inside. A check that could wipe out my debts in one stroke. But the catch: flirt with his son, Ethan. Make him believe someone cared. All because the old man couldn't stomach his boy's truth. I stared at the check, my heart pounding like a drum in a storm. 20 grand. Enough to cover Mom's medical bills, the rent that's been choking me for months, and maybe even a sliver of breathing room in this relentless city. New York doesn't forgive the broke. And at 25, scraping by as a junior analyst at Harrington Enterprises, I was one missed paycheck from the streets. Mr. Harrington leaned back in his leather chair, his eyes sharp as knives. Ethan's different. He's been moping around since college, avoiding the family legacy. I think he needs a push-a friend, someone to light a fire under him. You're charming, Alex. Gay, too. Right. Perfect fit. He knew. Of course he did. Whispers in the office had pegged me early on. I swallowed hard, the envelope burning in my hands. Sir, this feels wrong. But the words tasted like lies even as I said them. Wrong. Or just the lifeline I desperately needed. Harrington waved off my hesitation. It's not forever. Just get him out of his shell. Take him to dinners. Movies, whatever kids do these days. Report back to me. And the money's yours in installments. Deal. I nodded, sealing my fate. That night, I met Ethan at a rooftop bar in Manhattan, the city skyline glittering like a promise below us. He was nothing like I expected, tall, with tousled blonde hair and eyes that held a quiet storm, like the Atlantic on a gray day. 23, fresh out of Yale, but carrying the weight of his father's expectations like an anchor. Dad said you're the new guy at the firm, he said, sipping his whiskey neat, his smile tentative but warm. I flashed my best grin, the one that had gotten me through awkward dates and tougher interviews. Yeah, Alex Rivera. Pleasure to meet the heir apparent. We talked for hours about his love for painting, hidden from his business tycoon father, about my dreams of writing that novel someday, buried under spreadsheets. The flirtation came easy. Too easy. A brush of hands. A lingering gaze. By the end of the night, as we walked through Central Park under the stars, his laughter echoed in my chest like something real. But it wasn't. Not yet. The next few weeks blurred into a whirlwind of staged romance. Harrington fed me into Ethan's favorite spots, his allergies, even his insecurities. I'd text him flirty messages, show up at his gallery openings with flowers. You're too good to be true, he'd say, his cheeks flushing as we'd share stolen kisses in dimly lit cafes. Guilt gnawed at me, but the checks kept coming, easing Mom's pain and my burdens. Ethan opened up, confessing how his father's disapproval of his sexuality had driven him into isolation. He thinks it's a phase, he whispered one night in his loft, our bodies tangled on the couch after a movie marathon. I held him close, my heart fracturing. Was this acting? Or had the lines blurred? One evening, as rain pounded the windows of his Brooklyn apartment, Ethan pulled me into a dancino music, just the rhythm of our breaths. Alex, I think I'm falling for you, he murmured, his lips brushing mine. Panic surged through me. This was the job. But his touch felt like fire, igniting parts of me I'd long ignored. I kissed him back, deeper than planned, losing myself in the moment. But secrets have a way of surfacing. It happened at the company gala, a glittering affair at the Met. Harrington cornered me in the restroom. Good work, kid. Ethan's smiling again. Keep it up. His words were a slap. Ethan overheard, peeking through the cracked door, his face crumpling like paper in flames. Paid. This was all paid. He hissed, storming out into the night. I chased him through the crowds, my suit soaking in the downpour. Ethan, wait. It started that way. But he spun on me, eyes blazing with betrayal. But what? You lied to me, Alex. Every touch, every word was it all for money. Tears mixed with rain on his cheeks. I grabbed his arm, desperate. No. At first, yes. But I fell for you. For real. Your laugh. Your art. The way you see the world, it's everything. He shoved me away, hailing a cab. Save it for your next paycheck. The days that followed were hell. Harrington fired me on the spot, calling me a liability. Mom's condition worsened without the funds, and I crashed on a friend's couch, jobless and heartbroken. Ethan ghosted me, his social media dark. I wandered the streets, replaying our moments the way he'd sketch me sleeping. The vulnerability in his voice when he shared his dreams. Was it all fake? No. I realized. The love had grown roots, deep and unbidden. Desperation drove me to his gallery show, uninvited. The room buzzed with art critics. But Ethan stood alone by his latest Paisea chaotic abstract of reds and blacks, titled Deception. Our eyes met across the crowd, and time froze. I approached, voice trembling. Ethan, please, hear me out. He turned away, but I persisted. I was drowning when your dad offered the deal. But you pulled me out, made me believe in something more. He faced me, walls cracking. Why should I trust you? I pulled out the last check, uncashed, and tore it in half. Because I'm here without it. Because I love you, not the job. Silence stretched. Then he stepped closer, his hand finding mine. Prove it, he whispered. And I did, with a kiss that held no pretense, just raw truth. But forgiveness wasn't instant. We talked through the night, unpacking the hurt. Ethan confronted his father, demanding acceptance. I'm gay, Dad. And Alex, he's real to me. Harrington, cornered by his son's fire, relented grudgingly at first, then with a hint of remorse. I just wanted you happy, he admitted. Ethan scoffed. Then let me be. Our relationship rebuilt on honesty. Dates turned genuine. Laughter unforced. I found a new job at a small publishing house, chasing my writing dreams. Ethan flourished in his art, his pieces now infused with hope. One sunset in the Hamptons. He proposed not with a ring, but a painting of us. Eternal. Be my real boyfriend. Forever. Tears stung my eyes. Yes. In the end, it wasn't the money or the deception that defined us, but the courage to choose love over fear. We taught Harrington that acceptance heals, and ourselves that vulnerability is strength. In a world quick to judge, our story became a beacon proof that even paid flirts can bloom into soulmates. As months turned into a year, our bond deepened amid the chaos of city life. Ethan and I moved into a cozy apartment in Greenwich Village, where the walls echoed with his creative bursts and my late-night typing. But shadows lingered. Harrington's reluctant approval masked deeper tensions. Family dinners were battlegrounds, his pointed questions about Ethan's phase slicing like knives. When are you going to join the firm? Son, this art thing is fine, but... Ethan would grip my hand under the table, his smile strained. One crisp autumn day, everything shattered. I received an anonymous email, grainy photos of me accepting the first check from Harrington. Timestamped. Tell the truth, or the world knows. Blackmail. My stomach churned. Who? A rival at the firm. Or worse, someone closer. I hid it from Ethan, not wanting to reopen wounds. But secrets breed poison. That night, as we cooked dinner pasta with his secret sesame phone buzzed incessantly. Ethan noticed. What's wrong? I brushed it off, but he snatched the device, eyes widening at the email. Alex. This again. Hurt flashed, then anger. You said it was over. I explained, but doubt crept in. Who sent this? Dad. We confronted Harrington at his penthouse, the air thick with accusation. He denied it, but his evasion rang false. I ended that nonsense months ago. Ethan exploded. Nonsense. You paid someone to love me. The argument escalated, years of repression boiling over. Harrington's face reddened. I did it for you. To make you normal. The word hung like a curse. Ethan stormed out, me in tow. In the elevator, he broke down. He'll never change. The blackmailer struck again, leaking the photos to a tabloid. Headlines screamed, Harrington airs fake romance exposed. Paparazzi swarmed our building, Ethan's art career teetering. He retreated into himself, painting furious strokes of betrayal. I felt helpless, the architect of this mess. This is my fault. I confessed one sleepless night. Ethan cupped my face. No. We built something real from the ashes. Determined, I dug deeper. Using old contacts from the firm, I traced the email to Harrington's assistant, a loyalist acting on orders to test our relationship. Confrontation 2. We burst into the boardroom during a meeting. You orchestrated this. Ethan demanded. Harrington sighed. Defeated. I thought if it crumbled, you'd come back to the fold. Tears welled in his eyes, a crack in the armor. But seeing you fight for him. Maybe I was wrong. That admission sparked change. Harrington sought therapy, learning about acceptance. He funded an LGBTQ+ youth center in Ethan's name. A olive branch. Ethan forgave slowly. Boundaries firm. Our love, tested by fire, emerged stronger. We traveled San Francisco's pride, where we marched hand in hand. Quiet beaches in Maine, whispering futures. One evening, under the Brooklyn Bridge's lights, Ethan knelt. Alex, through lies and truths, you've been my anchor. Marry me. My yes was a sob of joy. The wedding was intimate. Harrington walking Ethan down the aisle, his pride genuine. In vows, we promised honesty, echoing our journey. Life post-scandal brought peace. I published my first book, inspired by our story. Ethan opened his own gallery, showcasing queer artists. We mentored kids like us lost in identity's maze. Harrington became an ally, his transformation a testament to growth. Our tale whispered, love isn't born perfect. It's forged in trials, emerging resilient. In America's diverse tapestry, we wove our thread vibrant, unapologetic. Years later, reflecting on that fateful office meeting, I marveled at fate's twists. Ethan and I built a life rich in meaning, adopting a rescue dog, hosting friends for holidays, supporting causes close to our hearts. But challenges persisted. Equality's fight never ends. When a bill threatening LGBTQ+ rights loomed in Congress, we rallied in D.C. Voices joining thousands. Harrington, now retired, stood beside us, sign in hand, proud father of a gay son. Back home, Ethan's art evolved, capturing resilience's beauty. One piece, from shadows to light, depicted two figures emerging from darknesses. Symbolic. It sold for a fortune. Proceeds donated to charities. My writing flourished. A memoir of our story topped charts. Inspiring letters from readers, you gave me hope. Yet, personal storms brewed. Mom's health declined again. Cancer returning fierce. Ethan was my rock, holding me through chemo sessions, reminding me of strength. We're in this together, he'd say, echoing our vows. When she passed peacefully, surrounded by love, we grieved as family, Harrington included, his support unwavering. In her memory, we started a foundation for low-income families facing medical crises, blending our past pains into purpose. Ethan's coming-out journey, once shrouded, became a beacon. He spoke at events, sharing, love isn't about fitting molds. It's about breaking them. One summer, we vacationed in the Rockies, hiking trails that mirrored our path, steep, unpredictable, rewarding. At a peak, overlooking valleys, Ethan turned to me. Remember when it was all fake? I laughed. How could I forget? But look at us now. We kissed, wind carrying our whispers. Harrington's final gift, rewriting his will, ensuring Ethan's inheritance without strings, acknowledging his son's worth. At his passing, years later, Ethan mourned a redeemed father. He learned to love me as I am. Our stories end. Not really. Love endures. We aged gracefully, gray hairs and laugh lines mapping adventures. Grandkids from friends' families called us uncles, hearing tales of the paid flirt who stole a heart. In essence, our drama taught humanity. Deception may spark, but authenticity sustains. In a nation grappling with division, we embodied unity, two souls, once hired, now inseparable. Romance isn't scripted. It's lived, messy, profound. And in that truth lies the deepest meaning. Love wins. Always.